So the ego, which in another word we could call that entity, the mind-made self, that entity looks for, okay, where can I find some more conflict? Because it defines itself. It says, that's me, this is me, and there's the rest of the universe. Me and the world. Total sense of separation. And of course, the most interesting thing is me. And all the rest is just secondary characters in that drama of me. And you look at whoever comes into your field of vision, how does this person fit into this drama of me? How can I, or is this person perhaps a threat to the story of me and myself? Is this person, okay, then you get, this person I can incorporate into me, and this person I have to keep away. And so once you have a me, you have the other. The other. And the ego, the more deeply entrenched the ego is, the more you're identified with the stream of continuous thinking, which is how the ego keeps itself going, the more strongly you feel the otherness of the other. And then every other person is alien somehow. And you look, what does he want? What's her motivation? When it gets a little bit more pronounced, then you recognize it as a mental illness called paranoia. But every ego has that need to emphasize the strangeness and the otherness of the other human being. And then you live in a dreadful world where you never have true relationship because you are closed. You have a conceptual sense of identity, and you cannot sense your own aliveness anymore, and you cannot sense the aliveness in the other. Once you are trapped in a conceptual identity in your head, me and my story, then you will impose a conceptual identity on everybody else. In other words, you have a few judgments about the others, and then you tie a bundle around that, and then you relate to your judgments of the other person, never encountering the other person, who in reality is not other at all. So you cannot sense that at a very deep level there is not only a connectedness, there is even a oneness of yourself with every so-called other, but you don't know that. So then to you it doesn't exist. And then if collective, because we've been talking about personal egos, then collective egos, there's only one thing that's more insane than the personal ego, and that's the collective ego. The nation, when people strongly identify with their nationality, or religion can have that function too, when it's misused by the ego for its own purposes. And so you have the believer and the non-believer. We are the ones who know the truth, the only ones. All the others are wrong. We are right. Countries, and then if one country does it to another country, you can see the entire population of the other country is conceptualized, certain judgments are pronounced, and then you cannot sense the aliveness anymore and the connectedness. And so the ego then engages in warfare, and it feels its own pseudo-identity more strongly the more enemies it has. And this has been the history of humanity up to now. And the same mindset is still continuing, but at the same time, otherwise we wouldn't even be here, or I would be sitting here and there would only be 1 or 2 people there. At the same time, there is something else arising that is not of the ego. A new state of consciousness. Now, don't get attached to the words. I'm saying new. It's not really new because it's been there all along inside you. Let's just call it new, or say, as I saw a second-hand clothes shop, and it was called New to You. So without getting attached to the words, always knowing when I say something that's not quite it, but that doesn't matter. Let's just, for the moment, say a new consciousness is arising.